Today, I have for you a breakdown of communities, communication, culture, and publics. So, to start off, it is important to understand what a community is. A community is a group of people who have a shared commonality. So, some examples of a community are, for example, a church group. They all share the same religion, it's a shared commonality. And it can be as simple as location. So, a small town somewhere, they are considered a community because they all shared the same location, and they can connect with each other from that same commonality. And it is important to factor in communication as well into communities because communication allows communities to interact with each other and interact within each other. So, an example of a community using communication to interact within itself, for example, church. So, a church holds a Sunday Mass every week, and that is considered a form of communication and a way of other people of the community communicating with each other, and of course obviously communicating with God. And another example of communication between two communities or between communities is, for example, location. So one community that lives in a town needs salt for their roads. They have to communicate with another community to get that salt. So, those are some examples of how communities are able to use communication to both communicate within themselves and amongst other communities. So, the next big thing to understand when talking about communities and communication is culture. And how does culture relate to the idea of community? So, culture is a term that encompasses both the societal norms and behavior of certain groups and certain populations of society. So, for example, we talked about how communities share a commonality. For example, Chinatown here in New York City, or in a lot of major cities, there's a Chinatown. The shared commonality that makes them a community is their love of Chinese culture and the country of China. Oftentimes, the shared commonality within communities can almost always be traced back to culture and culture of some country or culture of some religion or culture of some sort. So, to conclude, a community is a group of people with a shared commonality that usually can be traced back to culture of some country, religion, or different background. And a public is different and similar to a community in a lot of different ways. It can encompass a group of people with that share a certain trait. However, communities can also be incorporated within a public. Thank you very much.